and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world. News Cycle on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Madison. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. Tension flared at the Federal High Court in Abuja as protesters stormed the premises over moves to deregister opposition political parties. The demonstrators warned against alleged interference in the judiciary and the electoral process. Kike Lomo Okere has the details.
The protest, led by concerned northern Nigerian stakeholders, grounded activities at the Federal High Court complex in Abuja, as demonstrators chanted and displayed placards demanding the protection of democratic space. Security operatives, including the Department of State Service, swiftly moved in, barricading the entrance and denying protesters access to the court premises. Addressing journalists, the group leader Banki Sharif accused the federal government of undermining judicial independence and due process. He warns that weakening opposition parties threatens the foundation of democracy, stressing that credible elections depend on open political competition.
Call on the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to immediately cease all forms of interference, overt or covert, with the judiciary. Courts must never be reduced to instruments of political engineering. The moment justice is manipulated, the nation itself placed on trial.
Sharif also called for neutrality from the Attorney General of the Federation, cautioning against the politicalization of the office.
The Attorney General of the Federation must be neutral. He is not serving an individual. He is not serving the president alone. He is serving the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He is being paid by Nigerian resources and he is working for the Nigerian. He has to respect the dignity of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
The protest comes amid rising political tension over a suit backed by Attorney General seeking the deregistration of several political parties. As the case unfolds, attention remains fixed on the court and the potential implications for the nation's political landscape. Kike Lomo Okere, Global TV News.
The crisis in the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has taken a new turn as the Wabara-led Board of Trustees has inaugurated Kabiru Turaki to head an interim leadership committee. Political correspondent Ubong Usoro reports.
Chairman of the PDP Board of Trustees, Adolphus Wabara, says the hope of millions of Nigerians lies in the party's return to power. He noted that it has become necessary for the party to take decisive steps to provide leadership, urging members to avoid unnecessary litigations that could further divide the party.
We shall be presenting a crop of tested party leaders to NEC for approval, inauguration and onward transmission to INEC. I urge INEC to respect the judgment of the Supreme Court and update its portal.
Chairman of the PDP Governors Forum and Governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to strengthen its credibility by respecting and upholding the resolutions of political parties.
Let me say thank you to our elders, especially the founding fathers of this party. Usurpers have taken over our offices, whether the Wadata Plaza and the Legacy House. They're not supposed to be there.
In his acceptance speech, Kabiru Turaki described the PDP as the largest opposition party in Nigeria. He said the interim leadership is ready to take on the responsibility of repositioning the party, including producing credible presidential candidates.
We fought hard to make sure that PDP remained afloat. We fought hard to make sure that PDP remained irrepressible. We fought hard to make sure that PDP remains alive.
Those present at the meeting included Muazu Babangida, Tom Ikimi, and other party stakeholders. Ubong Usoro, Global TV News.
Activities have been grounded at the University of Ilorin following the commencement of an indefinite strike by members of the Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Associated Institutions. Chairman of Union Uni-Ilorin Chapter, Professor Falawo Olushola, said the strike was necessitated by the federal government's failure to conclude the renegotiation and implementation of the 2009 agreement with non-teaching staff unions. The unions staged a peaceful protest at the main gate of the university, displaying placards with inscriptions such as "We demand fair treatment and living wages, pay withheld salaries now, and 45% increment is our demand, not 30%. While enforcing compliance with industrial action. Moving on to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the deployment of 4 newly appointed federal permanent secretaries as part of efforts to strengthen governance and improve service delivery across key sectors. In a statement issued on Monday, signed by the Director of Information and Public Relations, Eno Olotu, on behalf of the Head of Civil Service of the Federation, the government said the move aligns with administration's renewed hope agenda and is aimed at enhancing effective policy implementation. According to the release, the appointments follow the competitive selection process and are intended to boost internal ministerial collaboration and drive sustainable development. Vice President Kashim Shettima flagged off this year's Hajj operations in Abuja. He urged intending Muslim pilgrims to uphold values that positively reflect Nigeria and serve as worthy ambassadors of the country during their spiritual journey. Speaking at the inaugural airlift ceremony at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja, the Vice President said pilgrims carry the nation's image on the global stage and must conduct themselves with discipline, humanity, patience, and integrity. Meanwhile, the Kano State Pilgrims Welfare Board will commence airlifting of the state pilgrims on May 14, 2026. The board's Director General Abubakar Matawali announced this during the closing ceremony of the Hajj induction course held at the School for Arabic Studies, Kano, as part of preparations for the 2026 Hajj exercise. He further disclosed that the board has completed all necessary arrangements in advance to ensure a smooth and successful commencement of Hajj operations. The Nigerian police force has taken decisive action over a fatal shooting of a 28-year-old man in Delta State, dismissing and arresting 4 officers linked to the incident. Addressing journalists in Abuja, Force Public Relations Officer Anthony Okon Plaxid says the officers were found culpable of unlawful conduct following a thorough investigation. Kike Lomo Okere tells us more.
The victim, Mene Ogidi, was shot on April 26, 2026 in Efun after being apprehended by residents over a parcel traced to Yanagwa and intended for delivery in Sapele. Police says the parcel contained a fabricated firearms and ammunition. However, the force condemned the action of the officers who opened fire, stressing that the suspect was unarmed and already in custody at the time of the incident. Investigation by the Police Monitoring Unit indicted the officers for professional misconduct, abuse of office, and unlawful killings.
The force wishes to unequivocally no criminal suspicion, however grave, justifies extrajudicial action. Every suspect, regardless of the nature of allegation against him, is entitled to due process under the law.
The Force Public Relations Officer noted that the Police Service Commission has since ratified their dismissal, while the case has been forwarded to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation for prosecution. He says Efforts are ongoing to arrest other suspects, including the driver who delivered the parcel and 2 vigilante members currently at large. The first insists no officer is above the law and has assured Nigerians that justice will be served.
And prosecution. The Nigerian Police Force reassures Nigerians, particularly the family of Mr. Mene Ogidi, that justice will be served in this matter. The force does not shield officers who violate the law. No rank, no position, and no circumstance will be permitted to place any officer above accountability. This case is being handled.
The Nigerian Police Force says this case will test its resolve to enforce discipline within its ranks and restore public confidence in law enforcement. Kike Lomo Ukeri, Global TV News.
State chairman of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, have fixed Sunday, May 24, 2026, for the party's special convention and presidential primary ahead of the 2027 general elections. The decision was announced in a statement issued by the chairman of ADC, State Chairman Kingsley Temitope Oga. Oga said the timetable for the party's non-elective congresses and special convention was in line with the party's constitution, the Electoral Act, and a recent judgment of the Federal High Court in Abuja. The All Progressive Congress, APC in Benue State, says it has resolved its lingering internal crisis with Governor Hyacinth Alia, granted an automatic ticket. All serving members of the National and State Assemblies elected on the party's platform have also been granted same to seek re-election in the 2027 general elections. Benue State correspondent Felicity Ndere tells us more.
At the new banquet hall of the Government House in Makurdi, delegates from different factions of the All Progressive Congress APC gathered at the instance of Governor Hyacinth Alia for a reconciliation meeting aimed at resolving issues that have divided the party in the state since 2023. After a closed-door session, party leaders briefed journalists on the outcome of the meeting. Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, emphasized inclusiveness within the party as he delivered a message from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as part of the reconciliation efforts.
The President's message. All those elected on the platform of the APC from the State Assembly to the National Assembly must come back, and father must be returned to office. So these are the issues we have discussed, and I think we have a common ground.
Meanwhile, Governor Hyacinth Alia says there is no automatic ticket in line with party directives and guidelines, clarifying that the call is merely a request for all to be considered.
My initiative to call for this meeting is very targeted, is very deliberate, so that every member will come back, and those who are aggrieved, I had to apologize on behalf of every member of APC. APC, it's told us very plainly that there is no automatic ticket. So I think it is a prayer he tendered to the people of the state.
Party stakeholders expressed optimism that the reconciliation meeting will strengthen unity and reposition the party ahead of the elections.
Reconciliation meeting is not about me. It is about the state and the APC as a party. What is important is that people have agreed that they could sit down together and talk.
We were a divided house, and you know the consequences of a divided house. Today we are united, and I think we'll move on greater.
With the reconciliation now in place, the Benue APC says it is poised to move forward as a united front, putting internal differences behind it as preparations gradually begin for the 2027 general elections. In Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
You are watching the live broadcast of News Cycle. News Cycle continues after this weather forecast, plus business, foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us.
Hello, welcome to the weather forecast. Now, if you were awake during the early hours of Monday, you probably heard that intense rumble of thunder as most parts of the country experienced heavy thunderstorms and rainfall with strong winds gusting up to 100 kilometers per hour, causing damage to some infrastructure in affected areas. Now, let's talk about what to expect on Tuesday. Much more calmer morning in many areas, although parts of Adamawa, Taraba, Kaduna, the Federal Territory, Nasarawa, Plateau, Niger, Cross River and Akwa Ibom states will likely experience morning thunderstorms and rains, while slight dust haze is expected in parts of Borno and Yobe states. Later during the day, as moisture builds up, these storms will make a comeback to develop across the southern region of the country, the north central extending to parts of Kebbi, Sokoto, Zamfara, Kaduna, Adamawa and Taraba states. That's the forecast. Stay alert and keep your umbrellas close. I am Theodora Itzum. Thank you for watching.
You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is News Cycle on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, the federal government has called on the global maritime community to prioritize fairness, equity, and adequate support for developing economics in the push towards net zero emissions in international shipping. Speaking at the 84th session of the Marine Environment Protection Committee of the International Maritime Organization in London, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Dr. Adegboyega Oyetola, he reaffirmed the country's support for decarbonization, stating that such support depends on frameworks that reflect the economic realities of developing nations. The Debt Management Office, DMO, has opened May 2026 FGN Savings Bond subscription, offering Nigeria's investment opportunities with returns of up to 14.525% per annum. The DMO announced the offer on behalf of the federal government of Nigeria under existing debt laws. The subscription windows runs from May 4th to May 8th, 2026, with settlement scheduled for May 13th, providing retail investors access to low-risk government-backed securities. The Nigerian Naira has shown signs of recovery, rebounding from its April lows to trade at about 1,858 Naira to one British pound. Improvement reflects a modest gain in the local currency's value amid ongoing efforts to stabilize the foreign exchange market and ease pressure from demand for major currencies. Analysts say while the rebound offers some relief, sustained policy measures and increased forex supply will be key to maintaining stability in the coming weeks. On the foreign news, the European leaders have gathered in Armenia for a high-stakes summit focused on confronting rising global tensions and strengthening strategic alliances. The European Political Community Summit is an urgent talk on security, diplomacy, and shifting global power dynamics. Mukhtar Qasim tells us more.
Yerevan, Armenia plays host to a crucial assembly of leaders from across Europe and key global partners including Canada in a decisive push for unity amid uncertainty. With conflict intensifying and alliances evolving, the summit comes at a defining moment for the continent's security architecture.
Principles, and that's why we are super glad to welcome Canada here today to discuss the issues. There has been a talk about withdrawal of US troops for a long time from Europe, but of course the timing of this announcement comes as a surprise. I think it shows that we have to really strengthen the European pillar in NATO, and we have to really do more. I mean, the American troops are not in Europe only for protecting the European interests, but also American interests.
British Prime Minister Keir Starmer says the platform offers a timely opportunity to confront threats impacting Europe and its allies. He warns that ongoing crises are exerting pressure on economies and livelihoods across the region.
Obviously, we're facing a war on two fronts. the Ukraine war, which is now in its 5th year, and the Iran conflict. Both of those are impacting every single household in the United Kingdom. We can see that already in relation to the impact on energy. So it's vital that we work with international leaders.
Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney highlights growing concerns over global security shifts, particularly changes in the United States military posture. His comments signal increasing vigilance among allies over emerging defense realities.
It's one of the reasons why I'm here, because one of the most efficient and effective ways to meet our NATO obligations is to cooperate with our European partners, other partners, obviously Americans as well, but our European partners, and that's something that's being developed in real time. So it's important at a leader level as well as officials levels to be building that out. Obviously it's of interest and of some concern, speaking for myself, a potential adjustment in U.S. troop.
The summit reinforces a collective resolve to deepen cooperation, strengthen security framework, and safeguard stability in an increasingly volatile world. As deliberations continue, leaders are expected to chart a coordinated path forward in tackling shared challenges and sustaining diplomatic momentum. Mukhtar Qasim, Global TV News.
Iran says that ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz must coordinate with Iranian authorities after the United States announced an effort to open the strait. Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Bagel stated this at a briefing in Tehran, noting that ships, their owners, and shipping companies know well that to ensure their security and safety, they need to coordinate with relevant bodies in the Islamic Republic of Iran. The United States on Monday kicked off an effort to guide stranded ships from the Iran-gripped Strait of Hormuz as it tries to counter economic disruptions that outlasted the peak of fighting with no peace deal in sight. In sports news, now the stage is set for a thrilling climax to the second-tier season as the Nigerian National League Super 4 descends on Ikena with ambition, redemption, and bragging rights at stake across 5 intense days from today. To be hosted at the Remo Stars International Stadium, the 2026 Super 4 brings together 4 conference champions sporting Lagos, Ranger Bees, Doma United, and Inter Lagos, all already promoted to the top flight but still competing for the ultimate crown and a 10 million naira prize. The round-robin format, a genuine test of consistency, depth, and technical maturity, ensures that every point could prove decisive in determining the champions. The organizers of the prestigious Okpekpo International 10-kilometer road race have announced a one-week shift in the date of the event, moving it from May 23rd to May 30th, 2026. According to Pamosis Sports marketing organizers of the historic World Athletics Gold Label race, the adjustment was made to ensure an even more successful outing this year. The new date allows the completion of the enhanced logistical arrangements, including expanded medical coverage, improved security deployment, and additional spectator facilities. Team Nigeria have ended their campaign at the 2026 World Relays in Gabon, Botswana, by securing 2 more tickets to the 2027 World Athletics Championship in Beijing, as well as another ticket to the World Athletics Ultimate Championship slated for Budapest in September. Having picked up a mixed 4x100 meter relay ticket with an African record on the opening day and missing out in the other 5 events, there were fresh opportunities in the repechage on day 2, and 2 were successfully taken. Nigeria and South Africa swapped positions multiple times during the race, and it took the experience of Okon George to hold off pressure from the 3rd place Germany and secure Nigeria's 2nd World Championship ticket. That's it on News Cycle. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365. and Star Times channel 276. Now kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching.